Talk to me about the reboot campaign that just came out and your ideas behind that.
Oh, Diesel reboot.
Yeah.
So it's my first project for Diesel. It's the first advertisement. So what I wanted to do was to create a new online community, sort of like SHOWstudio actually. Yeah, I'm just copying SHOWstudio idea.
That's what we thought.
No, I just I wanted to find these creative people through Tumblr and Instagram and Twitter, and then just kind of taking portraits of them. I actually have some pictures. Can you get from the magazine? I love September because all the new magazines comes out, and yeah, any of them actually.
All of them? Go for it.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
It's like show and tell. This is awesome.
Sorry. Yeah, like this. That just came out in another magazine. So it's like just portraits of just cool kids that we found on Tumblr. And,
you found them all on Tumblr?
Yeah, some of them friends, family, and just creative people.
Why do you love the internet so much? Because you're so pro Tumblr, your social media, but you also have this magazine side to you. I wonder how you sort of bring the two together.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I like both. You know, everyone thinks I'm like a crazy tech savvy person, but I'm not. You know, I'm just like you. You know, I just use my Instagram and Twitter, and so I suppose I just use what I have for my work. Simple, you know, just whatever is in front of you. I just try to incorporate everything.
So you use it more to get inspiration than to put yourself out there?
Oh yeah, totally. Like, you know, when I do research, you know, I don't do it with Google anymore. I just do it on Tumblr, or you know, I just hashtag stuff you want to research. There's so much, yeah. And I ask people, my followers, to help me. So I'm kind of like cheating, but it's almost nice. It's nice to do it with everyone and collaborating and stuff. So
it's made you quite a celebrity. Do you like that, or do you not think about it like that?
I don't know. It's the only nice thing is that I get to meet people. You know, it's nice when someone comes up to me on the street and take pictures and we just chat and stuff. But you know, I never wanted to be like in front of a camera. You know, I was always fine with just, you know, doing my thing. But so it's a bit late now.
We've talked a little bit about what you're doing at the moment, but I want to go back to sort of your earliest memories of fashion. Do you remember as a boy your first sort of interaction with fashion?
Well, you know, I was never. You mean like a little boy?
Yeah, when
it was
you were
my
small.
mom. You know, my mom. She's Japanese, and she loved shopping, obviously. So when we were in Italy, you know, she would take me window shopping and in Rome, and that was kind of my first memory. I loved it. You know, I just kind of followed her, and like, yeah, it's the Versace and Max Mara and all those Italian brands that still, you know, it's still stuck in me. Sure.
Were you creative? I'll let you have your copy. Were you creative when you were younger? How did you express that creativity? Was it drawing? Was it making clothes? Was it looking at other people?
I was thinking about that the other day. I think I would close my eyes and like dream. I was always doing that. I was imagining that I was one of like a manga character, and I would like fight, and it was a female character actually.
What was she called?
I don't know. I think she had pink long hair and like a little bit like this. Yeah. I remember I was like completely, that was my own world, you know? I was completely like flying and, you know, creating and yeah.
Is that still how you work? Is it very much about fantasy and creating a new world?
Maybe, you know, I just work with my instinct, and I try not to think about it too much. So I never come prepared. So maybe that's why I'm, you know, kind of fearless, you know, because I try not to think about it too much, and that's why I get to multitask all these things and be creative, I suppose.
You mentioned some of the Italian fashion brands that sort of your mum would wear, and I want to go back to that point when you were, because you were born in Japan but you grew up in Italy.
Well, both, yeah.
Yeah. How have both of those different sort of heritages influenced how you work?
Well, I'm a complete schizo. You know, one day I'm this and one day I'm not. You know, it's like, Yeah, because we were literally traveling from Japan, Italy, like back and forth. So, you know, one day you're in this crazy Tokyo, full of like technology and, you know, colors and people, lots of people. And then next day you're in, you know, in Rome, where this, you know, it's, you know, very historical and, you know. So, I don't know, I suppose I get, you know, I'm probably, I'm quite good in lots of different situations. You know, you can throw me anywhere and I kind of like wing it. Maybe that's what.
Did you used to feel like you fitted in though? Because isn't that where the Nico Panda thing comes from sort of people making comments about your appearance when you were younger?
I always wanted to be like other people when I was younger. I always wanted to fit in, so I was very good at like, transforming and like, you know, because you always want to be like your friends, you know, and like in Japan, you know, I want to be like Japanese, so yeah, I would dress up and, you know, just pretend to be like others, but that kind of went the opposite way when I was kind of like teenager, 15, 16. I went completely against it, so I was like, you know, start dressing up like crazy and like crazy hair and sort of like, you know, kind of a punk attitude, I suppose.
What sparked that change when you wanted to become sort of different?
I don't know, when I started thinking about my sexuality, maybe. And yeah, like kind of growing up, really.
Were you interested in fashion at this point? By this point, did you love magazines? Did you like buying designer clothes? Were you, or?
Well, I loved, you know, looking at designer clothes because, yeah, it was exciting, you know, but I never had money, so I always used to go to flea market and kind of buy similar things and like just do it in your way. And then I was reading, I was obsessed with ID and The Face magazine. Rest in peace. So I was copying I was always looking at the page of the magazine, you know, all those amazing stuff that Nick Knight used to do, you know. So that's why I had to come to London. You know, after high school, I was like, I need to be in London where everything was happening, you know.
You lied to your parents, and you told them you were studying architecture when you came to
I
London.
know, it's so bad.
Do you still feel bad about that?
Yes, yes, it's so bad. I literally went, I really wanted to study architecture, well, kind of, and I came here and then, I literally went to school for a week and then went clubbing for 3 years.
Do you think you learned more clubbing than you would have learnt at school?
No, you should go to school for sure. You know, that's where you meet all the people and, you know, the libraries but I could, you know, I didn't. I was just into more music and clubbing and stuff. So, but that's where I met all, you know, people that I know now still, you know, the friends, and it was great. For me, it was a great school.
So why did you want to study architecture in the first place? Was it because it was something that was creative, but it's also quite scientific? What was it about that appealed to you?
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I wanted to come to London and just study things that, you know, because in architecture you study everything from math to fashion, drawing, art, you know. I liked everything, you know. I learned playing the piano, so I just wanted to do everything, you know, just everything. So architecture seemed to be kind of like in the middle. And it sounded cool, you know, it sounded really cool, like architects.
I want to talk a bit about the time that when you were clubbing, because you said that's where you met everyone, and you must have learnt an incredible amount, even though you were just having a lot of fun. Talk to me about those years and how that changed your perspective. Like, did it change your perspective? What was?
Well, the only thing I remember is it was super exciting. You know, the looks, the fashion, people dressing up. That was the one thing that I really remember. The rest I can't really remember. I was so fucked up. No, those like, you know, the personas, the club kids and the drag queens, and, you know, they really they're incredible, you know. And we used to really dress up and go out, and that was it's like I suppose I'm just doing that still, you know. I love dressing up, and maybe not for myself but to other people, and it was just fun.
So there was never a point where you thought about fashion as a career in a kind of serious, ambitious way? There was never a point where you decided on fashion, you just kind of fell into it?
No, that started probably like a couple of years ago, actually. So I worked at Pignolai as a shop assistant for 2 years, and through that I met Katie England and Alistair Mackey, and they introduced me to Jefferson for Dazed, and he gave me a page in the magazine called I Spy.
I Spy.
Yeah, and so I was just, you know, because of Pignolai, I Spy.
Yeah.
So I was putting all the stuff that we were selling in the store into I Spy, and I was taking pictures and drawings and, you know, my little monthly column. I did that for like a year, and then that kind of led into a photo shoot, like a bigger fashion shoot. And then kind of like a year later, I was like, oh, there's a job, you know, like a stylist job.
You don't like being called a stylist. I've read in previous interviews you said, I don't even care about clothes really, I've always seen myself as an art director. Tell me about that.
Well, art director sounds a bit pretentious too, you know. I just, I don't know, I don't like naming things, you know. Because when I was a stylist, I was never doing the stylist job, you know. I couldn't care less about the clothes, you know. I was much more into the clothes and the person that we were shooting. You know, if they were naked, great. If they were wearing vintage clothes, it was great. So I was never like a proper stylist. So I never wanted to be called that.
You get asked about this a lot, but tell me about working with Lady Gaga. Obviously that's a huge question, but tell me what were the biggest things you learned during that time?
Well, I worked with Gaga for over 3 years. It was, you know, like again, you know, I just kind of went in without not knowing what I was getting into. And it was kind of like a crazy like roller coaster for 3 years. Incredible, you know, because it was the first time that I saw my fantasy creation like alive, you know, walking on the street. And that was super exciting. And she took it to a whole another level, and amazing. I mean, with Nick, we did so many crazy stuff. Like my favorite one was Joe. I remember we were in the SHOWstudio office, and in the morning we were supposed to shoot for Vogue Japan, and we were like, we're gonna do something crazy, and you know, we transformed her into a male, you know, her male character, Joe, and it was incredible, you know, and stuff like that. It was so spontaneous and very theater, and yeah, it's amazing.
Do you miss her?
Yeah, of course, you know. But I feel like if I go back, I have to like do another 3 years.
So you don't want to have another person who can become your living fantasy?
Well, why not? You know.
But not Gaga?
Well, you know, like I want to concentrate on other things now, you know. I'd love to do my own line, and you know, what I'm doing at Diesel, it's just perfect. It's I get to use all my crazy ideas into one big project, and that's what I want to do for now. But never say never. But.
Never say never. Talk to me a little bit, you mentioned doing your own line, but you've obviously worked in the house before. I want to talk about Mugler. Why did that house feel like a good fit for you?
Well, you know, I was so into that kind of look at that time, you know?
Yeah.
Like super high fashion and almost costumes, and yeah, I didn't really care if, you know, people could wear it or not, because, you know, I had friends who could wear that. You know? So it was total fantasy, and, you know, just high fashion. And but I wanted to turn into a big business. You know, I wanted to have a big collection, and yeah, stores and advertisement and all those things. But it just it wasn't the right time. So yeah, I needed more support, and yeah, so I was kind of frustrated, you know. I feel like I was doing everything and not getting the right support. So I was like, fuck it, I'm leaving.
Would you say that fashion is really, oh god, that rhymes. I was going to say, would you say that fashion's really sort of your passion, your core interest, or is it more theatre and spectacle?
Oh, I love fashion. Yeah, for sure. But I don't really, you know. I like more like a fun fashion, fantasy fashion, and if that can go into art or theater or be it, you know. But saying that, you know, I love like high street too. You know, I get excited like designing. Like I work for Uniqlo in Japan. Like to design like the perfect polo. You know, like it's about like a millimeter of buttons and like just shades of different colors, and that sounds exciting too.
So tell me a bit about how you juggle everything, because you've mentioned that you've got Uniqlo and you've, you know, Vogue from Japan, you've had high fashion. Tell me how you've kept everything, kept all those balls rolling and stayed inspired.
I try not to think about it too much. You know, I never look at my schedule. I look at what I'm doing tomorrow, and I have a great team around, so they kind of like sort my dates and stuff, and I just go. And I haven't stopped since, you know, a long time. And I meditate a lot, twice a day, in the morning and night, and that really, really, really helped me, like for jet lagged, and yeah, you should try. You meditate?
Sometimes.
It's really amazing. Like I don't want to be all like, you know, good like that, but just like close your eyes for like 10-20 minutes, just think about nothing. It's such an amazing experience. Yeah, I really recommend it. That's, you know, better than like I don't know, going on holiday or something for me. You know, just close your eyes. It's everything is inside you, so just yeah, it's nice.
Do you feel fulfilled?
Yes, but there's that tiny bit that, you know, I'm never like. So that's why maybe I can keep going, you know, because I'm not 100% satisfied over it. You know, I can always see mistakes and stuff. So I'm like, but positive. But it's sort of like, you know, I'm always like here or there. So.
Do you think you'll ever retire? Will there ever get to a point where you're like, I'm done?
Probably not. And that's a great thing about, you know, all the people that I know, that I admire, it doesn't matter, you know, we just do whatever we need to do, so we'll just keep doing it. Like same for Gaga, you know, if she wasn't famous, she'll still be playing music and, you know, some ghetto gay club, I'm sure, you know. So it's like, you know, there's this thing that we you know, drive everyone, and I'm glad that I have that. I'm glad that I found that things I want to do, so I'm just going to keep going.